Good morning, guys. Wow, I look like a mess. This is me, so I'm sorry. I'm just running around, and it's a crazy day, and I didn't feel like putting on makeup, and I hope you guys forgive me. Today is Thursday, and it is March 7th, and I wanted to hop on and do our lunchtime live, and I didn't want to be late. And I figured, you know what? We're homeschoolers. You know what it's like to be home. And especially in the winter, you're not going out. You're running around. You're trying to do school. You get sucked into a movie for like an hour with the kids. And you just don't have the time to pretty yourself up, right? So you guys can understand where I'm coming from. And I don't feel like putting on makeup just to try to catch up with a lot of stuff today, because that's what my plan is, to catch up with stuff. Now, I'm not looking at you guys because I am sharing this in our group, which I'm going to do right now. So excuse me while I put my back to you. Brilliant homeschoolers, lunch 10. Okay, so this could be shared. Being shared, and then we're going to get into what we're talking about today. So again, if you're just tuning in, forgive my appearance. This is just me. So if you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm Christine. I'm owner and content creator of bloomingbrilliant.net, where I share educational resources, parenting advice, and information about homeschooling. I'm a homeschool mom of 2. I homeschool my 9-year-old daughter and my 5-year-old son right here in Brooklyn, New York. And it's fun, and it's crazy, and it's chaotic, and it's hard to navigate sometimes. And I like to be able to make this experience easy for others who are interested in it, who want to do it, who feel like they can't do it for whatever reason. I'm here to tell you, you can do it because I can do it. And I mean, if you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, then you shouldn't. But if it's something that's inside you, that's speaking to you and saying, like, I really want to do this, but how? I could give you a million of excuses of why I can't do it, but I'm doing it somehow. Anyway, today, I want to just talk a little bit about testing and a little bit about at the end of the year, because we're in the third quarter. When the third quarter report is due, we're going to need to send in whether we are planning on testing our children or whether we plan on not testing. So I know it's a little bit confusing, and I'm just going by the rules and regulations here in New York. Hey, Holly. So I'm looking through all my papers with you guys, and I'm going to try to explain it the best that I can. Okay, so April 15th, the third quarterly report is due. I do have a question from Andrea, so I should answer that, but that was for something else. But anyway, around April 15th, the third quarterly report is due. Now, I'm looking at a different one. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to answer the question. This is something else. Yeah, okay. I want to make sure that it didn't change for the year. So, yes, April 15th, the third quarterly report is due. And here in New York, and when you're sending your third quarterly report, you're going to want to send in, you're going to write in whether you are planning to test your children or if you're not going to test them. Now, testing begins, and this is where I want to make sure that I have all, the information in front of my face. It begins in 4th grade, I believe. I just want to make sure. And then it's every other year. So you could really start at 5th grade, which is what we plan to do. But then we're trying out these tests to see if it works for my kids. So here it is. Okay, I don't know what page it's on, but it's in the little packet of Part 100 Regulations for Home Instruction. And it's towards the end. It's like the second or third. No, it's the second to last page. And it's number 60. And it says, which state test suffice for an annual assessment? And I think this is what I'm talking about. So, they're telling you what test you can take. And actually, I think there is a website where you can purchase tests directly from the state. And I can link that to you for you guys, so if you're looking. But the test shall be selected by the parent from one of the following. So it could be the Iowa Test of Basic Skills, the California Achievement Test, the Stanford Achievement Test, which is what we took, and the Comprehensive Test of Basic Skills, the Metropolitan Achievement Test, and a State Education Department test, or another test approved by the State Education Department. That really does not answer, like, all your questions. But we chose the Stanford Achievement Test. And we got that from the Homeschooling testing website. And I'll link that. But there's also there's another site that the state gives that I will link for you guys. I'm going to go through this in more depth at some point. But I just wanted to answer some of the questions that everyone has when it comes to testing. Okay, so they were talking about other tests available. They have approved the Personalized Achievement Summary System, which is called the PASS or PASS test, which is available through Hewitt Homeschooling as an acceptable commercially published norm referenced achievement test. So that test has been accepted. They will accept that as your annual assessment. So that's good to know. But there is no process currently in place for them to evaluate and approve any other test. So when they say all these, I think it has to be like state tested education tests. If the schools accept it, then I think they accept it for homeschooling. Now, it gets a little complicated whether, like, who must administer the test. But just know that it's okay for you to administer the test to your children, as long as it is being graded, I believe, by a professional. So for the test that we took, we did them at home. I proctored the test, told the kids what they had to do, let them do it. Then I put them in a package and I sent them off to the company. The company is going to grade the test. So I think that's okay. And that's what makes it acceptable for them to take the test, because it's like a third party there and they are certified for that. So parents of fourth graders can opt for an alternative form of evaluation. So that would make you starting at fifth grade for testing. So then here, let me read it so that way and let me know if you have any questions, because then right now while I have the papers, I could try to explain it better. So yes, alternative forms of evaluation may be used every other year for pupils in grades 4 through 8. So that means for fourth grade, if you don't want to start testing yet, you don't have to. You can send them a normal letter, like this is what we send them. We send them a letter at the end of the year with our quarter 4 report, and we state, for me, it's my daughter, her birth date, her age, her grade level, has accomplished or has met all her satisfactory requirements as discussed on the individualized home instruction plan for the school year of 2018 to 2019. And we send that in with it, and we sign it and everything. And I had it on my hard drive, but my hard drive is still missing. So still broken. So hopefully if it gets fixed, I will have a template for you guys so that you could actually see it. If not, I will have to be starting from scratch with that, and I'll share that at some point also, but I could do it quicker if I had the hard drive. Anyway, so that should answer your questions. When do you test? Well, you could start at fourth grade, but if you don't want to, you could start at fifth grade, and then it's every other year. So if you start testing at 5th grade, you don't have to test for 6th grade. You test for 7th grade. You don't have to, I guess, test then for 8th grade. But you could test for 4th grade and then change the pattern a little bit. Or you could test every year. We tested my son because we were able to get the test and we were going to try them out. So, and I don't have to. So if you want to, you can take these links that I'm going to share and these options for testing, and you can get them and you can test your children so that way you feel like, wow, it's really, I was like so like scared of the test myself. And now being through the process of them taking it and them being okay with it, because especially I was talking about my daughter yesterday and how she's a little bit of a perfectionist and she stresses a little bit about getting everything like perfect. I was a little stressed about them taking it and about them feeling stressed about taking it and stuff, so it was like a whole stress cycle. But it really brought a lot of clarity to me, because then I was seeing when I looked over, when they asked questions or when they were like worried about something, it made me see, and when I get the results back, I'm sure I'll see it a lot more clearly of where they're struggling and where I can, you know, fix things or focus on things. That's what I meant. Focus on things. So, testing is pretty good as long as you make it fun and relaxed. We spent the week testing. We didn't like jam pack it in 2 days. I let them have the time that they needed to, you know, feel comfortable with the testing. We tried to make it as fun as possible. I think as we, you know, do it more, like if we try it out again for next year or so on, we'll make more of an event of it, so that way it's more fun and that they don't have that stress. Because I did read some places that do it, even in schools, that make it like, this is like we'll have a pizza party after our testing or whatever. So that way it makes it more fun and less stressful. So yeah. Going deep on the testing. Okay, so I think that's all the things, is it? This is how you deal. I'm sorry, I was reading and making sure that I had covered everything, but I think that's everything for the annual assessment, the end of the year. That's all the same thing. So your annual assessment is basically, you can send in, like if your child is before 4th grade, you could just send in, or at 4th grade, you could send in just a letter saying that my child has met the satisfactory level of everything that we talked about in the IHIP. And if you want to test, then go for it. Like I said, you really do see a lot. Like I never, like my daughter got tested going into 1st grade for the gifted and talented, and I saw that she knew a lot of stuff, but we never did any kind of testing like that before. So this was like our first time with it, and seeing my son for the first time going through the testing experience was really interesting, and to do it at home was really cool because I went to regular school all my life, so I got to see like, wow, how I reacted to tests and how that affected me in school and so on. So yeah, it was really a nice experience, one that I could reflect on, like, and see like, oh, my own issues, see some issues with my kids and stuff. So if you're interested in testing, I would totally do it, because it does bring clarity. But if you don't want to, that's fine too. Definitely, they do require that you do it from 4th grade, but like I said, you could skip that and then start at 5th grade, and then it's every other year. And then when the kids get older, I believe you have to do the testing every year, but I cannot go into that right now because I don't see it. Unless it's here. I'm looking just before I finish, because I'm hoping that you guys, I'm being clear. I hope I'm being clear. than that. You do pay for the test if you're doing them from home. Even if, I believe, if you could, I don't know, if you could try to get, like, your child go to a school and take the test there, but I'm not sure all the ins and outs of, like, how to do it. I was going to do it a couple of years back with my daughter when she started, and I thought I had to take the test that first year, and I was stressed. I was like, oh my goodness, first of all, I got to find a teacher to administer it, because that's what I thought I had to do. I thought I had to do all these things, or try to get her back into a school to at least take the test, and it was stressful. But this way, taking them at home is so not stressful. It was so much more relaxed, and I like I told you, I stressed over it. But anyway, I hope this helps you. And if you're looking for, like, where you could find this stuff, it definitely starts at number 60 in your 100 regulations papers. And you'll see that it'll tell you, may a parent administer a standardized test or prepare a written narrative of assessment? Yes. With the consent of the superintendent, which I'm telling you, here in New York, you can do it yourself, and the parent may perform these actions. So you can, the written narrative is what I say is the letter that you can send at the end of the year, just telling them that they can, that they have met the standards, or they have met to a satisfactory level of everything we have discussed in the IHIP. Yes, I believe that's how I worded it. But yes. Okay. So I hope this helps you, because I needed this. I needed somebody to sit down and talk me through it, because they use, like, really big words. Sometimes it gets really confusing. And you're like, but they say it has to be an educator, but then they're saying it could be a parent, but where is it? You know, it makes it really complicated. And it really isn't as complicated as we make it out to be when we're trying to figure it out. So I hope this helps you, because I know you all needed it. You've been asking me for, like, weeks and maybe even months. So now you got the information and you can do it. And I'm going to drop links so you could get tests if you are looking for that. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow with something. Oh, tomorrow's Friday. Something that's bringing us joy. We haven't been here on Friday for a couple of weeks. So yeah, something that is bringing us joy this week. I have so many things that I could be talking about. We'll see. I have to pick one and share it with you. So I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day. And again, forgive my appearance. And I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm going to go now because I keep rambling. And goodbye. Goodbye, guys.